everyone. I'm excited about bringing on my next guest, who's also been on with me a few times now. I'm real excited about that. I have with me Ryan Larson, and he is the owner of First Line Financial. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
It has been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah, but I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. And you know what? I want you to sort of tell everybody a little bit about you. David kind of mentioned a little something, but let's talk a little bit about you and what you do and what you've got going on.
Yeah, thank you for the lead and for David. What a great speaker. Yeah, so pretty much I'm the CEO of First Line Financial. I started the company about a year ago. Essentially, I've been in the business for about 10 years. So I actually started off as a currency trader. When David was talking about gold, I kind of got excited just because I understand the markets and kind of how they work. But I used to trade the U.S. dollar against the yen and the pound and the dollar. And so when he was talking about gold, it kind of piqued my interest and kind of brought me back to where I started, because I used to have, like 3 monitors in my house, and I was one of those guys who were constantly getting up at 4 in the morning, staying up all day long just watching these stocks and these markets. Day trader, and it was a cool evolution of how I kind of got into the financial world.
Right.
Essentially, my financial advisor, who was managing my retirement money at the time, he actually heard about what I was doing. He said, "Hey Ryan, why don't you, go get your securities license and come work for me." So for the next year, I'm telling you, I was in the books every day, and just learned how to make a financial plan, a comprehensive, well-diversified financial plan. And David talked a little bit about asset, diversification and where to place your money, different asset classes. And he's mentioning gold. Gold is a great play right now. I mean, he talked about the run-up with gold. I'll piggyback and say he's right on the money right now. We're talking a little bit about annuities in our seminars. We have another seminar coming up next week, actually. It's at Ruth Chris. We're actually talking about annuities, and whether it be gold or annuities or some type of alternative or stock bond, diversification is what you need.
And you can't have all your money in one thing. That's an impossibility. And why annuities? You're very much into them. I mean, you're very into them. So let's talk a little bit about why you feel, and because there are some people out there that kind of poo-poo that for some reason, but let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, because I know you're going to be having the seminar. I'm going to get that information out. But, why you're so behind that. Go ahead.
People are looking for safety and income. And that's what we're starving for right now. That's what retirees and baby boomers are starving for. David was talking about possibly another market correction. And, there are some things on the horizons that are a little bit scary. I tend to be more of an optimistic, type of guy. I like to see, hey, I think we're going to do great. As a country, I think we're going to move in the right direction. There's a lot of bad stuff out there. However, if you're truly diversified and you have a plan, I think that just lets you sleep well at night. Essentially, yes, we might face a couple storms out there. We might face a correction. However, with a proper plan, we can get through any storm, and that's going to bring us out on the other side, seeing the clouds and the sunshine.
I like the idea of having at least one thing that I can guarantee on, right?
Yeah,
that I can know I have a guarantee on.
Yeah.
And I say that because that to me would be like residual money. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
Just there, and it, because that to me would be important. Now you're having this seminar. It's at Ruth Chris.
It is, yeah, Ruth Chris in Scottsdale, on Scottsdale and Indian Bend. So it's the 26th and 28th. We are starting at 6 o'clock.
And it's free.
It's free.
And it's at Ruth Chris.
Yep.
You get dinner at Ruth Chris. Let's just say that again.
Yeah, what else do we have to talk about?
Really, nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be a great evening. We're going to talk about annuities. We're going to understand the goods, the bads, and the strings attached. Because, whether it be, an immediate annuity or a variable annuity, every type of annuity out there and every type of product or investment vehicle has its advantages and disadvantages. And if we don't know the advantages, the pros and the cons, and the strings attached before we place our money, we're just kind of throwing darts at the stock board.
You also have a white paper.
I do.
And I think it's really important. All you guys that have those white papers, and eventually they're going to be turning them into books. because you have no
Yeah, we were
choice.
just
You
talking-
really, that's all you have to use to make you use, write your book. I
The
know
white
you were
paper,
thinking about it.
yeah.
Now, he has that, and he wants you to know your risk when it comes to planning your retirement. He wants you to know that. He also, if you want to get some information on any annuity at all, he knows the nitty-gritty of all annuities. And our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can diversify your portfolio right here on
Gosh,
Networking
I know.
Arizona. You can do it right here.
One
That's
spot.
awesome.
One spot
Just
shopping, yeah.
yeah. So here's our number, 602-277-5369. We want you to get that information. He also would love for you to go check him out at Ruth Chris, which is the 26th and the 28th. And again, you can check him out on his website, which is firstlinefin.com. You can also call him direct. That number is 480-729-6246. So exciting, a lot of little different things that are going on, and the market is crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, with the Brexit, vote, I mean, we kind of got a little shook up on that. We had a nice run up in the market for the last couple weeks. So, we gained back what we lost if you stayed the course, if you had a plan. A lot of people don't have that plan.
So
they got
people
nervous.
should really, everybody gets nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever
yeah.
anything happens, they're like, I gotta get out.
Gotta
right?
get out. That's the worst time to get out.
Right, let's talk about
Yeah.
that. Go ahead.
Well, you never want to buy on the dips. Sell on the dips.
Right, go
You
ahead,
want to
say
buy
it.
Yeah, you don't want to sell on the dips. You want to buy on the dips. So essentially, in this situation as the Brexit, I was calling all my clients and telling them what I was doing. I was informed. I was up at midnight writing an email because I was watching this thing coming out. So I wanted to hit it square on. I wanted to make sure that my clients were informed about what was going on in the market. They got an email at 8 o'clock in the morning telling them what's happening and what we're doing as a firm to be defensive about that. However, we looked at it as an opportunity, right? So we keep about 1 to maybe 1.5% in cash. So we looked at that as a buying opportunity. So we bought on the dip, and we had this nice run up. So essentially, that's what we want to do. We stick with a plan. Doesn't matter what happens. We have opportunities that we're going to buy. Sometimes we might want to sell, but if we diversify, whether it be gold, annuities, alternative investments, real estate investment trusts, whatever it might be, we just want to make sure that we have a plan and we're moving towards that plan for the rest of our career.
When you work with someone, how do you generally work with them? I know you do free consultations.
Yep.
You have to do. And what's really nice about this show for people like you to be able to come on here and sort of talk, because you're very much a relationship-based business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So they get to hear you a little bit and hear a little bit about what your thoughts are. When you work with someone, what can they expect? I mean, do they come to you? Do you go to them? How does it work?
Sometimes it works both ways, Carol. Essentially, I kind of look at it as a doctor's visit sometimes. If they're more comfortable with me coming into their house, and sometimes we just gather around the kitchen table just like they did in the old days, and we talk about finances, and it's in the comfort of their own home. Essentially, sometimes clients want to come to the office. We have a great office
In Scottsdale?
in Scottsdale, right there on Scottsdale and Jackrabbit Lincoln. So they have the opportunity to do both. So whatever they feel comfortable. But it's nice being on the radio. They get to listen to me first, and then if they decide to come to the seminar, they get to put face to the name, and essentially that's where the relationship starts. They get to hear kind of my philosophy, my background, and my story. Essentially, I think I have a great story.
I love your story. What I love about it, and we can talk a little bit more about it too, but what I really like about you, that I've talked to you a little bit about this, I think maybe the 1 or 2 times that you've come on here, that I said that what's nice about you is that you really got apprenticeship. You really learned.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, real quick.
Gosh, I worked with 3 different advisors, and they were probably 3 of the top performing advisors in Arizona. I mean, they know what they're doing. They've been around for a very long time, and yes, I was mentored under each of these advisors, and essentially I just kind of took different things from different advisors and started my own firm.
Now, we're going to have our lines open here. I'm going to let everyone keep on calling. You're going to get his white paper. He wants to know that what it comes to planning your own retirement. Also, to learn about the nitty-gritties of annuities. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Call us here and check them out at firstlinefin.com. So welcome back. We're talking with Ryan Larson, and he is the CEO of First Line Financial. And I want to talk a little bit about what it would be, some of that they should look for in, what should we look for in an advisor when we're looking for one?
Yeah. You want to work with and look for someone who you like, first off, and you think you can
trust
have
would be good.
Trust, have a relationship for the next 20 to maybe 30 years. Because it's, like you said earlier, it's a relationship-based business. And sometimes working with certain people just they don't align with you. They don't maybe align with your expectations or how they build their portfolios or their plans. I've seen a lot of different advisors just recommend one product, and I don't see myself as a product pusher. I see myself as a portfolio designer. So, when you're looking for an advisor, look for someone who's going to build a well-diversified, comprehensive plan based on your suitability, your needs, and your expectations with your money.
I really like the way you put that, because when you think about it, if you're a product pusher, it's like a doctor that's just pushing those, he makes money when he writes the script, you're going to get a little money kicked back to that, right?
Absolutely.
So no difference. But I love the way that you put it. You're a portfolio designer. That's great.
Yeah, because it's all about income. The income needs to be the outcome of every portfolio. So if an advisor isn't looking at your whole situation and they're not putting a whole financial plan together for you, in my opinion, they're just trying to sell you something as opposed to really solving for your financial needs. So us as a firm understanding what you have and what needs to come from it gives me the opportunity to show you, here are the tools and the vehicles that I have available. Not saying that they're going to work, but here's the tools that I would show you if you became a client with First Line Financial.
Now, another thing that I want to talk about quickly, too, is if somebody out there has already had somebody that they're working with, it's always really good to get a second opinion, a second set of eyes.
Yes, absolutely. And I touch on that in the seminar. There's no cost to get a second opinion. So it's always beneficial. And if you come in, we sit down, we have a nice conversation, and everything looks good on my end, and I think everything aligns with what you're saying to me, we're going to shake hands, and I'm going to wish you the best of luck. Because I didn't start this company to just, like you said, be a product pusher. I'm in the relationship-based business, and to move forward with a good, solid foundation, it starts with a plan. It starts with me and you talking, and just being real with each other.
Right, and that's what I like about people like you being, anyone coming on here really, is being able to do that. So you want to check him out. He does do free consultations with everyone. His phone number direct, it's 480-729-6246. His website is firstlinefin.com, and we want everyone to get his portfolio, I call it portfolio, his white paper and that he wrote, and that is knowing your risks when it comes to planning your retirement. Also, the annuities, I'll learn all about them, different ones, and there's lots of them.
Gosh, there's 4 different types, and Susie Orman, she always talks about, annuities are bad. But you know what? There's a certain type of annuity that she's referencing, and I touch on that in the seminar. My wife was actually talking to one of the guests that are coming, and she says, my financial planner is Susie Orman, but she doesn't like annuities. And my wife's response was, hey, sometimes annuities are good, sometimes annuities are bad. But, Ryan will show you the right and the wrong ways to place an annuity in your portfolio.
Now, you're going to be doing this seminar. It's at Ruth Chris Steakhouse in Scottsdale, which is at Indian Bend and Scottsdale Road. And it's going to be on the 26th and the 28th. It's free, and you get a Ruth Chris meal with that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You can check it out on their website. It is firstlinefin.com. So we've talked a little bit about those things, but I wanted to also say, what are some of the red flags, okay, that people should be looking for, and also what are the roadblocks, real quick?
Yeah, David touched on them a little bit. Market volatility, we're in a very low interest rate environment. We're in a $19 trillion deficit now. What's going to happen? The Brexit, the Europe, He was mentioning, the Deutsche Bank and stuff, and who knows. But what we need to know, what we need to understand is, we know we can't keep all our money safe. We can't put it all in gold. We can't put it all in annuities. So there has to be places that we put our money that's going to give us conservative growth and income. So with a well-diversified portfolio, whether it be, roadblocks as interest rates, well, let's keep some money in the bank. If we're looking for a good rate of return, maybe let's, gold has made a great run up. So just diversify, make sure you're looking at each roadblock, but you're managing it with different vehicles that could get you across that roadblock or get you around that roadblock.
Right, and there's a lot of them, and they happen all the time.
They do.
It's not like something that's happening now and then it's going to stop happening, because that's just the way the market goes and
the
the
way
world,
the world turns. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it was funny. I was talking to a client the other day, and he said, in the 1980s, the CDs were paying 18%. And I go, well, if CDs were paying 18%, we probably wouldn't be talking right now. You wouldn't need an advisor. But with the interest rate environment that we're in, I call them certificates of disappointments, because they're paying less than 1% right now. So, people are starving for return and yield. So I work with, alternative investments. With these types of vehicles, we could get 6 to 8%, distributions. Like I said before. Now, do we want to place, all our money into alternative investments? No. If we just place a certain percentage based on your comfort level and your needs, and we solve for those income gaps, we look at your Social Security, we look at do you have any pensions, we make sure what's the purpose of this money, what are you hoping to accomplish it, and we fill all those voids up, and we make a, kind of like an indestructible portfolio. It doesn't matter what happens in Europe. We're going to get through it, one way or the other.
Well, here's another thing, too, that I want to talk about, which is there's a lot of women out there that the man took care of all of their finances. And I think what's really neat about, let's say, coming to one of your seminars, I'm not saying that men shouldn't, but women, I think it's important for you to understand
Absolutely.
the market and understand, especially, let's say maybe you're younger and you're married and you don't know when something's going to happen, and all of a sudden now, or let's say you're someone who has inherited some money all of a sudden, or what have you. You need to understand it, and I think that's what I like about you being able to come on here for, is obviously talking a little bit, but also to be able to learn from you, have a conversation with you, go to one of your seminars and learn a little bit because again, that's where that information gives you power.
I'm seeing a lot more females in the seminars.
Well, we're taking over,
Yeah, you guys are taking over, but that's good, because I agree. Yeah, the men used to manage the money, but I'm seeing a shift,
right?
And really, the women who are coming into the seminars, they're looking for protection. The guys always want the return. Give me, good returns. Give me growth.
Yeah.
But women want safety.
Right.
They want comfort. And we could build plans around that.
So let's say somebody was married to somebody who took care of the finances. Okay, they had a plan.
Right.
Everything's all together, but the woman knew nothing. They didn't know anything about it. Okay, honey. Okay, honey. And now she finds that either he's passed away, and maybe it happened when she's still pretty young.
Yeah.
And she's got some years behind her, or they get a divorce or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be awesome for that person, because she needs to find out maybe what they did wasn't right for her?
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
That's where we sit down and we just start educating you. What do you have? Why do you have it? We have to make sure if it aligns with your needs now. Maybe things have changed in your lifestyle. Maybe you're looking out for children, and you want to leave some money to your heirs or a charity. So, if it doesn't align with your expectations, well, we need to make some changes. It's just like getting your oil checked or your car checked. Sometimes we need to make some tune-ups, and not saying it's all bad sometimes, but sometimes things need fixing. And we're going to make those adjustments based on your needs and what your expectations are from me.
So if you want to go to his seminar that he's having July 26th and 28th, it's at Ruth Chris. That's in Indian Bend and Scottsdale. You can check it out on his website, which is firstlinefin.com. You can also call their office and do a consultation with them. It's 480-729-6246. And I am going to let everybody call throughout the rest of the show and get his white paper. And that's all about learning about how to knowing your risk when it comes to planning your retirement. Also to learn a little bit about these annuities. What are your final words?
Come to the seminar. You're going to learn a ton, and we're going to have a great time. It's going to be a great evening. You're going to be very knowledgeable on annuities.
Check it out at firstlinefin.com. You can also call them. They will do a free consultation with you. That phone number is 480-729-6246. And again, I'm going to let everybody keep on calling throughout. I'll get it out throughout the rest of the show, because you're going to get his white paper that he wrote. It's knowing your risk when it comes to planning your retirement. Of course, also to learn a little bit about all of the different annuities out there, and he knows the nitty-gritty of them. He really does. And our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. And what's wonderful about Ryan, he's not a product pusher. He is a portfolio designer, and he wants you to learn from him at his seminar that is July 26th and July 28th. Check it out. Check him out at firstlinefin.com, or call in here and get the information from us.